Okay, we're recording. Let me go live on Facebook. So excited. Okay, we are live on Facebook. Welcome everyone to episode number 6 of the Blossoming into You series. If you don't know me yet, I'm Miko Lau. I'll be your host for this show. And today on here, we have with us Nadia, all the way from Sweden. And we're going to be diving into talking about the topic of what it looks like to becoming a woman who knows her worth, who knows her values, who have a solid sense of worthiness so that she shows up differently in relationships and dating and in our business, in our day-to-day life. And I'm sure a lot of women can probably resonate with this topic because I know I can. With that being said, Nadia, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you on today.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, me and Nadia, we were just chatting right before we clicked live because we are doing the same 12 months coaching certification program together. And it's just such a beautiful and exciting time to be doing this deep inner work of coming back home to loving ourselves, to unconditionally accepting ourselves and doing that deep transformational work. So, just a quick background, Nadia, tell us more about who you are, like who is this beautiful woman that we get the honor to meet today? Anything that you feel called to share?
I'm a nurse. I've been working as that for a long time, for 20 more plus years. I work with people with functional disabilities. I lived in the States too. Then I moved back here, so I've been working in a group home ever since. But now I felt like I want to do something else, and I started thinking about my future. What do I want my future to look like? So I wanted to do something that I could do from anywhere in the world. So that's plus that I like the topic, sex, love, and relationships. That's why I joined Layla's program.
Yeah, who wouldn't, right? Sex, love, and
Yeah.
relationship is so juicy and it's fun. It's a topic that we don't talk enough, like openly out in public. So and with that being said, I do want to take some time to acknowledge you, Nadia, for being so courageous to coming on here. We were talking before we got on live, and you said this is your first time to doing a Facebook Live like this. And we are going to be talking about some really open and vulnerable and like transparent aspects of ourselves. So I want to say a huge thank you on behalf of the women all across the globe who is going to tune in and listen to this. Thank you for being courageous and sharing your story with us as a way to empower them to also be who they are.
Thank you. And one thing though, you can be scared, but you got to feel the fear and you do it anywhere. Way, that's my motto. You don't let fear stop you.
Exactly. Yeah. So with that being said, anyone who's tuning in, like notice where in your life right now if you're feeling like afraid or hesitating to take the leap. If Nadia did it, if I did it, we all overcame some aspects of fear and did it anyways. And it's so liberating. It's so freeing to be able to take the step forward in the face of fear and to experience the next level of who we are. So I want to dive right into this conversation today, Nadia, with you because it's such an important topic. Worthiness, understanding what our values are. It's something that we never really been taught growing up. And on the contrary, like on the other side of the conversation, we are more even so like being taught that we deserve less than what we actually deserve, which is so insane and so toxic. So tell us more about like your upbringing. What have you been taught believing in yourself, like in what you deserve growing up, what that's been like for you?
I don't know. I just remember that I was always being compared to others all the time. Like, why can't you be? Because I was a wild kid. Like, I had a lot of energy. So, why can't you be like her? Why can't you be like her? So, basically, when I had really low self worth, I realized that now because I was stuck married to somebody for 24 years and allowed myself to be treated really bad. And it took me a long time. And finally, it took me that long to learn that lesson, but I learned it. So,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Wow.
but
Okay.
you never get fully learned. I mean, it's a process. I don't. You can always work on your self-worth, of course.
Absolutely. Yeah, so this game of comparison growing up, and even if we weren't like directly being told to be like other people, subtly that's how society has been teaching us with the advertisement, with the idols, the celebrities of like social media. There's always this idea that we gotta look a certain way, or an idea that we gotta act a certain way. And who was this person for you, if you can remember in your childhood growing up? Who was the most influential person in your life that always like made you feel like you need to be a certain way or look a certain way?
I think my dad,
Mm,
probably both of them, but I have a really good relationship with my mom. But my dad has always been a little shaky, so
mm,
yeah, they were always on me. Why can't you put makeup on? Why can't you do this? And I never used to. I used to be a tomboy and all that stuff. So took me till I was about
mm.
50.
Wow. And okay, so I want to
Yeah,
backtrack.
and I started.
So you started putting on makeup when you were age 50. That's what you said?
Yeah,
I didn't.
yeah.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I would like to backtrack and kind of get to know like what that journey was like before I ask you more questions of when you finally did start playing with makeup and what that was like for you. But I'm curious to know, growing up, like what were the exact things that dad said to you, or that convey such a clear message that you should be more of like a girly girl, and less of a tomboy? What exactly did he say to you? Do you remember?
Nobody always said, because my mom always had makeup on. She didn't go outside without it, and I never did. Like they used to give me money to buy clothes and makeup. I used to go buy records, like music, because
Mm,
I never did. And then, yeah, I don't know what happened. Well, I took a course, like a coaching thing, and I learned a little bit about self-worth, like extreme self-care. That's one thing I took home. Like really take care of yourself, your physical body, to make yourself feel good. So that really, I always do that now. Like I try to put on something that makes me feel good, no matter
but
what.
I'm curious though, Nadia, like it now as we're speaking today, if at the core of your essence, like what would you say you resonate with more? You still more so like the tomboy, like that's your truth, or do you feel like your truth is more feminine and playing with makeup and dolling up?
Oh, I think I can be both. I have
Mm,
that side too, but
mm-hmm.
I think I'm feminine. But it was funny because I told my daughter I always had complex because I think I'm so masculine in my voice. It's so funny. My daughter said, "Well, Mama, you're the most feminine thing I've known." It was so sweet. And my voice, I always thought, oh, I have such a deep manly voice, and I get a lot of compliments for it. So weird. So now I just embrace it.
Mm, mm.
Tomboy.
Yeah, it's so funny because I also have the same experience growing up, and I don't know if you believe in past lives, Nadia. I do. I believe that in my past life I was a man because I remember.
Oh,
Yeah, I just know, like intuitively, I know I was a man in my past life because I have a twin sister, and I remember like when I was very young, I know my twin sister in my past life was also my wife because like I remember
oh,
growing up, I always wanted to act like the boy, and I always wanted to try to kiss her, like kiss her on the lips. So it's so bizarre. But anyways, like I also grew up always so much in my masculine. I felt like I've been very uber masculine my whole life up until very recently. That's when I started really tapping into my feminine essence, and I also had a really deep voice. So I'm
wow.
curious to know, like, okay, like how did this happen? Right? How did we cultivate more of our masculine side versus our feminine side growing up? What that's like, what what do you feel like is true for you? I know what my story was, but I would like to hear more. Like, where do you feel like you got the tomboy personality, the essence from at a very young age?
I'm not sure. It could be that we were two sisters and I was the firstborn. It
Mm-hmm.
could be that has a little bit to do with my dad wanted a boy, and I could like gotten more tomboyish because of that. I'm not actually sure. But you know what? I always felt like I was a 13, 15-year-old boy for a long time. Like that's my inner, like I have that, yeah, well, you know how 13 and 15-year-old boys are. That's how I feel like inside a lot of times. It's so
That's so
funny.
interesting. That's so interesting. And now you're talking about it. It could very much like, at that age when you were really young, maybe you picked up on the idea that in order for dad to love me, then I needed to be more like a boy because he wanted a boy. Maybe. I mean, we don't know.
Could be.
Yeah, that's really powerful. Okay, and then so tell me more when you're at maybe like around age 50 when you started really tuning in to this feminine essence of you, what that was like for you. Mm, Nadia, is it
I
me?
think in the marriage and take the time to work on myself
Okay, I think we froze a
and
little
do
bit.
everything that I want to do and better myself. Yeah, I know the
Okay.
connection is not the best.
Oh, it's all good. Would you mind saying that again? I didn't catch what you
Let's
share.
see if I remember what I said. Yeah, I think it had to do with my divorce.
Mm,
When I divorced, I started rediscovering who I was because I lost myself in that marriage. 4 kids, 2 of them had like special needs, and so once I got out of there, so that then I decided now it's me time. I've been taking care of everybody else for a long time. Now I'm going to take care of me and really work on myself. So
and
then
how does that
I said,
feel
yeah,
to how does it feel to finally put yourself above everyone else?
oh, I like it. I mean, I can, it's great. And I have all this time now because I'm single. I have all this time for myself. I can
Mm,
do whatever I want, which is,
mm,
that's the good part about being single. Everything that I always
mhm.
wanted to do, including this program with Layla.
Yes, yes. And I think this is such a powerful conversation because we as women, our natural essence is all about nurturing. We love to care for people. We love to give and support and pour our love to others. But when it goes off balance, when we give too much in the expense of our own needs and our own boundaries and our own desires, that's when it can become unhealthy. That's when we can become a people pleaser, which I am a recovering people pleaser, which I know what that's all about, what that's like. And the moment when we can turn that around, when we can put ourselves first and come from a place of overflow, coming from a place of so whole that the way we give, it's a different energy. So do you notice now, are you dating, Nadia? Are you going out now, creating new connections with people? Do you notice how the different energy is now for you with your dating?
Yes, because absolutely. I notice the more I work on myself and the more I raise the bar and like what I require, the better men I attract. I'm still single though, so
Mhm.
yeah.
But it's a
But
different feel to it, right? In the dating scene, different from what it used to be like.
yeah, and I'm much better. I sort out the people that are not worthy right away.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm.
I get, you get really good. So basically, 98% is gone.
Mm. So when you shift your internal dialogue, how you are treating yourself, your relationship with yourself, you also start to experience that being reflected to you in your outer connections and relationships with men.
Yeah,
Mm.
but I still haven't found one. But I'm working on it. I figure that's maybe I'm not ready. I still
Mm.
have mixed feelings too.
Mhm.
I'm still scared that somebody's going to come and just take over my life. A little bit like my ex, it's still in there. That I'm going to
Mhm.
lose all my freedom and it's going to be bad again and all those things.
Let's play with it on
So
this call together. Let's play with that. So tell me more if we can, give us the permission to just daydream right now for the next like 2 minutes or so. And if we have a clean slate, a complete clean slate starting fresh, and you can choose anything you want, what would be this beautiful partnership look like? What would you choose?
um, I know I need somebody. They got to be loyal and somebody that's really stable. I've been thinking about this, and he has to be strong because I can't have somebody. I always had to be strong my whole life. I had to, everybody always turned to me for support and they leaned on me and depended on me. And for once, I want to be able to lean on somebody else because they can't fall apart when things get rough. So that's what I'm looking for. It's really stable. I have to be able to trust somebody, otherwise I won't open up.
Got it. So you're desiring of a conscious partnership with a man who is mentally, emotionally, maybe spiritually and physically strong, so that he creates a presence of safety and security for you, so that you can open
Yeah,
up.
and I want to be able to be vulnerable.
Okay, I think I caught vulnerable, and then the internet cut out. Hmm, let me see.
Closer to the.
Is it me or is it your internet? I'm not sure.
Wait,
I can hear you now.
it could
I don't
be.
know. I was experiencing. It's
How about
better.
now?
It's better. This is fun. It's all
Yeah.
perfect. It's all
Well,
perfect. Um, so Nadia, I heard you say being. Hmm?
you know
Mhm.
what? Yeah, I want to be able to be weak sometimes too. Not always have to be strong. That gets really tiring.
Tell me more about what you mean by being okay to be weak. What does that look like?
To admit that I don't always like have it together, that I get
Mm.
scared, and I want to be able to lean on somebody too. It feels like everything depends on me. Like my 4 kids, they always turn to me when they need something, which I love. Of course, I love that, but it'd be nice to have somebody by my
Yeah,
side.
I can relate to that. Oh, so much. So much, Nadia, because also been grew up as this like I got this like super independent, masculine, hustling woman. Like I got it all together. But it's this what we're talking about here. I believe it's all about learning to receive, like opening up to receive, being so vulnerable and being willing to be messy, being willing to be seen as we don't have it all together. And that's the kind of vulnerability. And there's strength in vulnerability, right? There's courage in vulnerability, to open up in that level, to allow a safety, a structure, a very powerful presence to support us.
And not having to pretend that everything is okay all the time. That's
Mm-hmm.
taken me a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I worked at my job for 18 years, and only once, right before I got divorced, somebody heard me say anything negative about my husband. Like, because I
Mm-hmm.
kept it all inside and things like that. I don't want to do that anymore, even though
Yeah.
that marriage is over. But when things are not okay, I want to be able to, yeah, I don't feel good today.
And Nadia, can you hear me?
if you know what I mean.
How does it feel when
It's okay.
you finally gave yourself the permission to not have it all together and be seen as that, and being known that you don't have it all together? How What was that like for you?
You know, it feels really good because that's when you get people's support. When you open up and be vulnerable, if they think you have it all together, nobody's going to give you that support because they think you got it. So
Yeah.
that really, I open up to my colleagues, and then I get a lot of love and support, which is
Mm-hmm.
really nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the image that I'm seeing right now, I'm a very visual person. It's like anytime when a person who pretends to be super strong, they've got it all together, super happy, like I just see a huge like walls up, like in front of them, that deep inside's a very lonely and sad and scared version of who they are. But then they also got these walls up. People see like, oh, you got it, you're powerful, you're strong. But then it's also preventing people from leaning in, from touching you at your heart, to your core of your soul, and supporting you in that level. So the moment you break those down, yes, it may be scary. Was it scary for you, Nadia, when you open up to being that vulnerable?
Yeah, it was because I was in so much, it was such a turmoil at times. It just happened naturally. It
Mm-hmm.
was so traumatic.
Mm-hmm.
So he was a
Mm-hmm.
narcissist and he kicked me out, and it was big drama. I've been through it, so without exaggerating.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I asked you the question of what that dream partnership would look like now. The next question would be the more fun question, is to really think about, okay, who do you get to become to create that relationship?
God. I guess I'll find out in a year. I'm not sure. I guess I need to just work on up leveling myself. I think what I'm mostly going to work on is my self-worth. It's
Mm-hmm.
because it ties into everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to talk about that today.
Yes.
And the money, it ties into money too. How we feel that we deserve, how much we think we deserve. So that's why I want to
Absolutely.
work on that, because I want to raise the bar
Yeah.
on
I,
everything.
I I love that you're bringing this up, because you are absolutely right. It's all connected to self-worth. In my coaching experiences with other women, like it's always coming back down to even feeling that they have the courage to reach out and call me or text me like for additional coaching. Sometimes it comes down to the underlying conversation of like, they don't believe they deserve that. They don't even believe that they deserve that extra time and attention from me, because they don't feel they're worthy of it. So when it comes down to opening up to receiving a man who is very powerful and strong and supportive, like that, it comes down to how much we believe we deserve it. So Nadia, what is the conversation for you that happens in your mind that tells you like you don't deserve that? What are some things that you say to yourself? Let's focus on like a relationship container.
When I tell myself I don't deserve it, for example,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like,
that's
what
what
are
is that
the
what you hear?
thoughts?
It's the things that I tell myself sometimes, like I see somebody and I think, oh, he's attractive, and then a thought comes, what makes you think he wouldn't be interested in you, or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But those voices have, I worked with them, so they're not as, it used to be much more.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to be really conscious of what I say to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't allow to say, if I catch myself, then I stop myself. Nadia, you know that's not true, right
Can
away.
can you think of a very specific phrase that you hear a lot that pops in your mind?
For
That,
myself,
mm-hmm.
oh, maybe not so much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly when I see couples and stuff like that. Well, now that's not for you. You can't have that. But
Mm.
it's
Okay.
that,
So
yeah.
there's a common one that comes up often when you experience a couple or witnessing a beautiful lover maybe in front of you, and then there's a voice that comes out and be like, you can have that, who are you to want it, or you can never have a man like this, something like that, that voice.
Yeah. Or he
Okay.
probably has somebody or whatever. Yeah. He's not going to
Mm,
be interested in you.
okay, so connect to that voice, connect to that phrase that come up. Where do you feel like it comes from in your body? Where does that voice comes up from?
I think my solar plexus, actually.
Interesting. Okay. And if you can give that voice a color, what color would that voice be?
I think black.
Mm, okay. So this black voice, it's not nice, it's hurtful. Does it have a squeaky voice or a loud, like a dense?
More deep and muffled. That's what I
A
hear.
deep muffled voice. Okay, so if we really lean into this deep muffle, like this color black kind of voice that would come up in those moments, if we can lean in and get curious and really feel underneath of that voice, what do you feel like it's trying to say to you underneath of it, underneath of these comments?
I'm scared.
Mm,
I think I'm sad. Mm.
okay. I'm scared, I'm sad. Yeah, so that what we just created, there was an opening where we got to tap into a part of you deep down, maybe very deep inside, that we never had the chance to see or hear or acknowledge. There's a part of you that feels scared, that feels really sad. If you can give her an age, like how old is she, this part of you that feels scared and sad? 6. Okay, let's breathe into that. 6-year-old precious Nadia is living inside of you. She feels scared. She feels lonely. What can you give her, Nadia, the Nadia I'm speaking to today? What can you give her that she feels so sad and lonely?
Unconditional acceptance
Hmm.
and self-love.
Okay. Can you give her a hug? Can you wrap your arms around her? Yeah, let her feel it. Let her feel this hug that you're giving her right now. Hmm. How does she feel right now?
A little better,
A little better?
I would say. Yeah. I had a
Yeah.
rough day today, so it was not my best day.
Mm, okay. So that's powerful, right? What did this whole like last 5 minutes showed you? What came up for you in this conversation so far?
Well, I like the part that sometimes I have a really hard time getting in touch with my feelings,
Mm,
but the part that I'm scared um, and sad, that came up because I think I'm protecting myself. That's really what I'm doing.
mm. What are you protecting yourself from, Nadia?
I guess from getting hurt, and that's why I say those things to myself.
Mm,
Like that's
that's
yeah, that's what I'm
huge.
doing. Mm-hmm.
That's a huge aha moment. Okay, so when
Mm-hmm.
as a way to protect yourself from getting hurt again, from maybe completely broken your heart, broken wide open again, you say those things to yourself as a protective mechanism so that you don't have to open your heart again.
Yes, that's it.
Okay, so what are some ways you can create a sense of safety for this part of you that feels so afraid?
I guess it comes from within, because you can never trust somebody else. You can't. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that you won't get hurt again. So it has to come from within, that no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay.
Mhm.
Because things happen. People die, people cheat, and life happens.
Yes. Well, I just want to say like how powerful this conversation has been in just like 30-20 minutes, because what's so powerful about this is that we got to look at underneath of all of our desires, even for a relationship, even for a strong powerful man who can support us, but deep down underneath of that is a scared, lonely, or sad little girl that only wants and needs safety from us only. And when we can give that to ourselves and create a solid, unconditional, unwavering foundation of that, then we come from a place of there's nothing to fear in our connections with people. And we open the door for more juicy, intimate, deep connections to come in. Yeah, that's the real work. And obviously, this was just an opening, right? For Nadia, for maybe even some of you who's listening, like this is just an opening, a crack to what's been underneath of it. And it's going to be an ongoing, beautiful, sacred journey of healing, of giving ourselves that sense of safety moment by moment of every day.
Mhm.
Yeah. How does it feel to have this awareness, this new awareness?
It feels good.
Mm.
I'm ready, because that's
Yes,
why I
you
signed
are.
up for the program too. I'm ready, no matter what it takes. Even
Yes, you
if
are.
yeah, even if I'm scared, or no matter what happens, because the time is now.
Yeah, thank
You
you,
don't know what's going to happen
Nadia.
tomorrow. Thank
I want to
you.
say thank you so much for the work that we just did together as an opening for other women, right? Some of us may not be ready to be that courageous like you are, but they are ready to tune in to another person's story and experience as a way to kind of borrow some of that into their lives so they can crack open, they can open up to leaning into what's underneath of it. So I want to say thank you for being that bridge for a lot of us. Your courage has done so much beautiful impact that you may not even see, but it's there. So thank
Well,
you,
if I can help
Nadia.
somebody, I'll be thankful, grateful, if it
Yes.
impacts one person. And
Yeah.
yeah, thank you.
Mm, this was so fun, and I cannot wait for a full year together with you inside of our coaching certification program with Layla. And with that being said, everyone, I do want to say if you tuned in today or if you're watching the recording later, thank you for dedicating the time to be here. Right, every time when you do this work to dedicate time that listen to something that resonate with your soul, you are saying yes to yourself. You are building up your worthiness. You're building up your self-love. So thank you. And thank you again, Nadia. For anyone who would like to be a chance to come on here and share your story with us and have a conversation like this, I will pop the link in the comments below where you can apply to be a guest. And I would love to have you. Until next time, have an amazing one. I love all of you so much. And I'll see you again on episode 7. Bye, Nadia. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.